So today's class is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be, at least for probably the first half of class, really gentle shoulder alignment stuff. And the intention is to release tension throughout the body. Some of this comes from my yoga therapy training, and some other tidbits I've pulled in, and then we'll flow a little bit at the end. If you feel like you got to the end and you're just not sweaty enough, go over to Balance's YouTube channel and pull up one of the classes from a prior week, or check out one of the other instructors' classes. But I feel like this is what my neck and shoulders need right now since I've been living at a computer screen. So go ahead and lay down on your yoga mat in constructive rest position. So what that means is flat on your back, knees bent, head flat on the floor, and you're pretty symmetrical. So nose up towards the sky. Check out your hips and knees. See if you can get them pretty even. They don't have to be perfect. And take a breath in. And a breath out. And then a breath in. And on the breath out, let your left ear drop down towards the yoga mat, so you're looking towards the left. And on your in-breath, nose up towards the ceiling. And on the out-breath, right ear towards the yoga mat. And inhale, nose up. Exhale, left ear down. Inhale, nose up. Exhale, right ear down. I'll be quiet for a few minutes. So see if you can tune into your natural pattern of breathing, and don't worry about how slow or fast it is. See if you can get breath and movement to match. So you can't even tell what starts first. Take one or two more rounds. And meet back in center. Now we're going to take some really small bridges. So on the inhale, press into the big toes, lift the hips up off the yoga mat. And on the exhale, roll back down. See if you can go one vertebrae at a time. If you have low back sensitivities, don't worry about the rolling, just lift and lower the hips. So inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower it down. Do that a few times. Noticing if there's any spots that are particularly sticky or hard to move. How does body interact with breath? And if they're not meshing up well this evening, that's okay too. That gets to be here. 1 or 2 more rounds of that. And then roll to one side. Grab either your extra yoga mat or whatever prop you have. Roll it up nice and tight so it's not going to unravel on you. And I'm going to put it down the center of my spine so it starts right below my shoulder blades and lay down. So your head will be resting on the prop so it has a little support. All right, so once you find that center spot, and it might take a little arranging, arms down. I even like to do palms up in my bridge to accentuate that external rotation of the upper arm bones. And you can even take a peek. Notice collarbones. Sometimes like the chest to the armpits makes like that mustache shape. See if you can make it like a smooth curve, almost like a frown line. Not that I hope you're frowning. And then repeat those bridges again. So lifting the hips up, and it might feel nice or it might feel irritating to press the shoulder blades onto that prop and then lower it down. Use your core muscles to stabilize the new wobble that might have emerged left and right. If you were hunched over a desk all day, so you're lifting and lowering the hips, it might feel like there's a 2x4 in your spine. Squeeze the hamstrings, so the backs of the thighs. Aware of your breathing. I notice my collarbones want to start to curl up towards the sky, so I'm going to try to keep them not jammed onto the yoga mat, but sliding out left and right. And next time you lower your hips down, keep them down. You're going to extend your arms straight up towards the ceiling, palms facing one another, so fingers pointing towards the sky. And on your inhale, stretch the arms up towards the ceiling so the shoulders lift up away from the prop underneath you. And then on the exhale, let the shoulders come back down, wrap around the prop. So inhale, stretch arms long. It might be kind of like a cat pose feeling. And then exhale, sink the shoulder blades back down. So you're just seeing how far they can move away from the prop. And then how do they squeeze back down? The next time they're lowered, stay there. Firm the arm muscles. And you're going to keep the distance between the ribs and the hips the same. Your low back is going to want to back bend here. Don't let it. Stretch the arms back towards the yoga prop behind you. And as soon as the belly button starts to pop up towards the ceiling and the rib cage starts to open, stop there and bring the arms back. So inhale, stretch back. Exhale, bring the fingertips back towards the ceiling. So toning the abdominals, not clenching, but toning. Finding a space where you can still breathe. shoulders are particularly clunky this evening, maybe move slowly into those areas, acknowledge them. Sometimes mine are more vocal. So keep doing that. I'll show you if you feel like taking a peek. The equivalent is a lot of the times we can reach up overhead and thrust our rib cage open, and that's fine, but it's not really doing anything for our shoulder and upper back mobility. Better to stay controlled in the core and work this range of motion, for most Americans anyway. Should be a little bit of work. And when that feels complete for you, roll over onto your side. You're going to change the position of your roll. So it's still going to land like right below the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, so where like a bra strap or a heart rate monitor would land. But now you're going to bring it perpendicular to your large yoga mat if you're on it. And shimmy yourself onto the prop. Arms out to a T. Left leg extends. If left leg extended is too much on the low back, keep the left leg with a smaller bend than the right. This yoga mat is way too much prop for me. I'm gonna adjust. I'm unrolling a little bit. Okay, take two. So adjust as needed, obviously I do. So I'm gonna keep pressing my right shoulder down into the yoga prop and let my right knee start to drop to the left. So I'm taking a twist, but I'm only twisting as far as I can keep that right shoulder down. Might need to wiggle a little. Sometimes I press into my left hand to kind of get the left shoulder out of the way. And then press further down with the right. And then go ahead, come back to center. Pause, breathe with both feet bent, or both knees bent, feet flat on the floor for a moment. And then extend the right leg out. Get in a comfortable, well, a tolerable level of discomfort where the left shoulder can relax onto the prop and start to let the low body twist to the right, but only as much as you can keep the left shoulder connected with the prop and keep the collarbones making that nice even curve so they're not curling up at the ends. Let the head go where it's comfortable. I'm going to press into my left and right hands a little bit, free my right shoulder, and then press into the left shoulder a little bit more. How's your breath? Go ahead, come back to center. Roll to the opposite side you've been rolling to. And ditch the prop for a little bit. Okay, so far so good. All right. I'm going to turn so you can see me a little bit better. But you're going to bend your knees, stack your left hip on top of your right. And lay on your right shoulder. Extend both arms out in front of you, so they're coming straight out of the shoulder. Palms pressed like you're in prayer. The head can rest down. If that's uncomfortable, you can absolutely slide like throw a pillow or something under there. So hips and knees stay stacked. Left hand on top of the right. Starting with my shoulder and not just my arm, I'm going to slide the left fingertips forward a little bit and slide the arm back. So a couple of times rubbing your left hand against your right, just seeing what the range of motion is like. If resting your body weight on that right shoulder is not working for you, you can absolutely bend the elbow, just coming straight out from the top of the head, and rest there and do the same thing. All right, so now lift the left arm a couple of inches off the ground so it's coming straight out of the shoulder. And it's, my arm's basically pointing at 90 degrees. There's like a 90-degree angle between my arm and my head. And then I'm just going to sweep the left arm over my left ear and then bring it back down. So pretend you're pressing down into a table with your left palm, sweep the left arm up, and then bring it back to where you started. Do this about 4 times on your own. If your range of motion isn't as large as mine, don't worry about it. Try to stay stable in the parts of the body touching the floor. If this is already a ton of work for you, you can stay right here. Or phase 2, next time that arm sweeps over the left ear, you're not going to just turn open, you're going to rotate your thoracic spine. So it's like an upside down twist. Left arm moves out behind you and then come back from where you started all the way on the other side of the yoga mat. So left arm over the left ear, twist open. I feel my vertebrae do a little snap, crackle, pop. Anything you want to do with that bottom arm. And again, if it's not the biggest range of motion, don't stress about it, just notice it. And then go ahead, lift yourself up, switch sides. Here, I'll use my extra prop as a pillow for my left ear. So, arms straight out in front of you. And then again, starting with the shoulder blade on your back body. Right arm comes forward, right arm slides back. You might only move an inch in each direction. You just want to see how much protraction and retraction do I have in a pain-free range of motion. And then right arm lifts up a few inches. Pretend you're pressing down onto like a table. So there's some toning of the right arm. And then stretch right arm past the right ear. So, and then bring it back down. So you're moving you're moving through a quarter of the pie, or a quarter of the birthday cake, we'll say. And that pressing down action does make it a little bit harder, but it prevents me from overdoing my range of motion. If that's already a lot for you, stay with that. Or the next time the right arm's in line with the right ear, roll your torso open and come back from where you started. So now you're going a full 180. Keeping the legs steady so you can get some good work and opening at the same time. In the thoracic spine. All right, one more time for good luck. And then go ahead, lift yourself up. Can get rid of the prop for now. And make your way to downward facing dog. If you prefer child's pose, you can absolutely take child's pose. Let's see, I have a message I'm gonna check. Okay. All right. Feel around in your down dog. Go ahead, lift that right leg up behind you. Look forward. Bring the right foot between the hands. Release the left knee down. Come up onto your fingertips. Stretch the chest long. Soft gaze over the nose, firmly pressing into the right foot. Chest is proud. Squeeze those shoulder blades together on your back like you were squeezing them around your yoga prop. And then keep the left hip over the left knee. Extend the right leg straight. If you have yoga blocks, I usually like to use them here. They're currently supporting my phone to record this, so I can't use them. Just keep a little softness behind the right knee in your runner's pose here. Flex the right foot. Try to square the hips. And then sink over that right leg a little bit more. Maybe stretch the hands out further away from you. And then gently rebend the right knee. Step back to plank pose. Knees can absolutely release down. Press down into the hands and feet. And then go ahead, lift back, downward facing dog. Sway your heels over to the left. Maybe they touch the yoga mat, maybe they don't. Peer under your right armpit, keep the hips high. Swivel the heels back up and over to the right, peer out under the left armpit. Pressing down and forward equally with both hands. There's a little bit of that twist like you did on your side here. If you have a tendency to lock out your elbows like me, soften them, tone the arm muscles, heels back to center. Go ahead, lift the left leg up. Hip square. Look forward between the hands, bend the left knee, plant the left foot between the hands. Right knee comes down. Chest proud. Scissor the left hip back, right thigh forward. And then start to extend the left leg straight. Runner's pose or half splits. I usually like to start with a hip hinge. If the hip hinge is already a lot of work for you, maybe stay here. Or if it's inaccessible, if you have a little more in your tank, a little more flexibility, you can go ahead, stretch your arms forward, let the head drop. Go ahead, rebend that left knee, step back plank, knees up or down. You can play with hugging the forearms in towards one another, widening the upper arm bones side to side. Feet and hands get heavy, find some buoyancy and lift in the torso. Easeful, steady breath. Child's pose. Slither your way forward to cobra. So hands by your low ribs, collarbones smiling. They were frowning before. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Try to swivel your pinky toenails down to the yoga mat. If there's tension in your low back, think navel up. And maybe don't lift as high. Tuck the toes under. Downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze goes forward. Exhale, bring your feet to your hands. Fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the hips. So you're looking for that nice, long spine. Your chin isn't in towards your neck, and it's not peering forward either. You have the outer shin muscles hug in, inner thighs widen. That might widen the sit bones. Press into the feet, lift up. Go ahead, stretch your arms up overhead. Bring the hands to prayer. Lean to your left. Root through the right heel. Straighten the elbows. Reach. Back to center. Let the left side tip towards the right. Press into the left heel. Long low back. Neck goes where it's comfortable. Go ahead, bring it back to center. Separate the hands, keep them overhead, hip hinge. If this is too much on the shoulders and the arms, let the hands come to the hips. Sweep the arms back behind you, palms face, collarbones lifting up. Sweep arms forward. Fold over the legs. Notice how much tension you are or are not holding in the upper body. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And when you're lengthening the spine, some of you I know are pretty flexible. A lot of times we come to this full halfway, like L-shaped position. Some of you can probably stay pretty folded, like belly to thighs, and just lengthen the upper back a little. Whatever feels most spacious for you. Spacious and stable at the same time. All right, plant the palms, plank pose. Go ahead, lower the knees down to the yoga mat. Shoulders over the wrists. The elbows are going to want to wing out to the side. Squeeze them back towards your hips. Find that firm, steady position in the arms. Collarbones are smiling. And then elbows bent. You're going to kiss your forehead down to the yoga mat. Sounds ridiculous, but do it. And then go ahead, lift back up. So it's a baby tricep push-up, but hopefully lots of length in the upper body. Forehead kisses the yoga mat. And back up. You're lowering with the torso to get the forehead to touch, and back up. Now one more time, why not? Firm the belly, head lowers down, and then cobra pose. Slide forward, legs together, collarbones broad. Downward facing dog. Knowing you can always sub out down dog for child's pose or hands and knees. I usually like to look straight down between my arms, not forward at my fingers or backwards at my heels. Right leg lifts up behind you. This time, bend the right knee, hug the right heel in towards the right glute. Keep the hips square to start. Notice if the left heel is hiking up, sink it down. Square hips. Look forward. Bring the right foot between the hands. Swivel the left heel down. And then triangle pose. So, just like we did before, if you want to block under your right hand, go for it. Just like we did on our side, you're going to extend the left arm like straight across the nipple line, fingers pointing away from you. Press down into that table, get more length from tailbone to crown of the head. Roll the waist open. Sweep the left arm over the ear, just like you did on your side before. Maybe you do a couple of sweeps. Bring the left arm back out in front of you. A couple of times, feel that shoulder blade protract, retract. Next time it's protracted, keep pulling it back. Squeeze the shoulder blade onto your back. Left arm sweeps forward. Maybe you even roll open a little bit. It's not going to be a big roll. Squeeze the quads up into the belly. And then go ahead. Left hand comes down to the yoga mat. Look forward, step your left foot in to meet the right. Fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Sweep the arms all the way up and up. Hands pressed together. Lean to your right. Really straighten the elbows. Notice if that low back bend wants to happen, keep the low back long. Up to center, over to the left. Firming the legs, arms stretch up. Hinge forward at the hip, arms stretch forward. Bend the knees as much as you need. Swim the arms back, palms face one another. Press into the feet, back up to standing. Wrap the elbows behind you. If that's not accessible, grab wrist. Either way is fine. Long through the spine. On your inhale, lift up onto your toes. Heels lift up. See if you can stack the crown of your head above the shoulder girdle, above the hips, above the ankles. You can stay up on your heels if you like. I'm going to lower down. Rotate the torso to the right. Try to keep the hips facing forward. And over to the left. I have to really, as I turn to the left, press down into my right heel. Back to center. Let's go to the right. This is hard for me, so we'll do it twice. Keep pressing into the feet. See if even as you twist, can you keep the head stacked over the shoulder girdle, low back long, back to center, hug the leg muscles over to the left. Notice if the head wants to twist more than the upper body. You're breathing. Go ahead, come back to center. Arms out. Give yourself a hug, round in. You can bend the knees a little bit if you have low back sensitivities. Stretch the arms out, thumbs up, collarbones broad, little back bend, and round in. And out. And in, hug, and open up. Twist to the left, big open arms. Notice if the hips want to pop out to the left, keep them pointing forward. And back to center, out to the right. Squeeze shoulder blades in, lots of energy through the fingertips. Back to center, Arms up, look up. Maybe you take a small back bend here. You're really firm in everything from the waist down. And then come up back to center. Hands come to prayer, hip hinge. Fold. Lengthen the spine on an inhale. Plant the palms, step back. 3 push-ups your way. I'm going to do knees down. Forehead to mat. If you want modified plank or plank, go for it. Elbows grazing the rib cage. Take breaks as you need them. We'll all meet up in cobra. Tuck the toes under. Downward facing dog. Feel the hip creases stretch back. Lengthen the spine. How's that thoracic spine feel here? Better, worse, the same. Keeping that right leg engaged, lift the left leg up, keeping the hips square. Plug the left thigh bone into the pelvis. Squeeze left heel in towards the left glute. It's like a hamstring curl. Look forward, stamp the left foot between the hands. Swivel the right heel down. Triangle pose. Oh, my left hip was very vocal on that one. I don't know if you heard it. So keep the knees soft if you have a tendency to hyperextend. Bring the right palm down straight in front of you, so it's about eye height. Neck is anywhere it's comfortable. And then sweep the right arm overhead and bring it back. A couple of times. With my left arm, I actually have it touching the outside of my left calf, so I have something to press against. All right, next time the right arm is coming straight out of the shoulder. Protract, stretch the right arm away from you, retract, squeeze it back in. I notice my neck is starting to get involved, so I'm going to soften my neck and see if I can isolate that range of motion to the shoulder. And I have to really press down through my right sit bone into my right heel here. All right, next time you're retracted, so right shoulder blade back, stretch your right arm overhead, pause, left sit bone back, maybe you roll open a smidge for extended triangle or any other triangle that works for you. Look forward, frame the front foot, step the right foot in to meet the left, fold. Bring your hands to the backs of your calves and fold yourself in a little bit deeper. You're going to hug your arms around your back body, noticing all the places your body connects with itself, with the ground, with the air. Bend the knees. Hip hinge if your spine is not so healthy today. Otherwise, roll up one vertebrae at a time to standing, trying to lose the race. All right. So far, so good. All right. Balance on your left foot and eagle the legs. Right leg crosses over the left. If you like the double wrap of right toes behind the left calf, go for it. Eagle arms, so I start in cactus, and then I'm going to go right arm under the left, palm, eagle, 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 Hands can come to shoulders, backs of the hands to touch. You can do the double wrap. And then squat as low as you can in the legs here. And then curl down. Yeah, make it work in the outer hips. Left calf. Squeeze the inner thighs. Gaze is steady. Slowly start to make your way back up to standing into quad stretch. So right heel to the right glute. Stretch the left arm up. Try to draw the right knee either in line with the left knee or a little bit behind. Collarbones broad, pubic bone pulling up towards the belly button. And release down. We're just gonna shake. Shake out the hands. You can wiggle out the heels. Shoulders. Feel ridiculous. You're in your own living room. I'm the only one that has to do this on camera. Gonna shake your head out a little. Maybe take a couple of sighs. Shaking out the hands feels really good if you've been at a laptop all day. And come to stillness when you're ready. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Balancing on the right leg, left knee up, left leg over. You can double wrap, or if the left foot kind of just pokes out to the right, no big deal. Make sure the knees are pain-free here. If the knees are bothering you, do this in a squat. Don't worry about the wrap. Cactus arms, left arm under the right. Sink low in your perch. Outer hips working, squeezing the inner thighs, sinking into the right heel. A lot of times I want to look forward and put the weight in the front of my body, work the posterior chain. And then unravel yourself as you're ready. Maybe you can hold it longer than I can. Right arm up, quad stretch. Left knee either in line or slightly behind the right. And then slowly release. Come to the long edge of your yoga mat. Or come to face the long edge of your yoga mat. And hip hinge. Hold. Collarbone squeezing up towards the sky, elbows up, armpits up. Squeeze the outer shins in, inner thighs widen. You can kind of press through your knees a little bit. Press into the feet, lift back up. Interlace your hands behind your low back. Actually, let's bring the hands over to the right side. So they're resting at the hip. My right elbow, once doing out, I'm going to squeeze it back. So you're trying to squeeze your elbows in towards one another. And then let the right ear drop to that side. Feel your breath. Back to center. Arms stretch over. Actually, switch to the grip. So non-habitual thumb on top. Now hands over on your left hip. Squeeze elbows back. Let the left ear drop down. Pull the pubic bone up towards the rib cage. Squeeze shoulder blades together on your back. Squeeze arms back. And then go ahead, come back to center. Go ahead and make your way back to down dog. If you feel like you want a flow in between, take it. And eventually we'll make our way onto our bellies. Go ahead. You're going to do thumbs up, arms straight out in front of you. Go ahead, lift the Left leg, right arm, any amount. I'm pressing my left hand, left pinky finger, down into the yoga mat to get a little steadiness, and into my right pinky toe. And then switch. Right arm down, left arm up. You can take the legs or the arms out of it if you're working through an injury. Listen to your body, listen to your breath. Can you get the breath as steady here as it was when you were laying on your back? Go ahead, lower down, switch. Squeeze the hamstrings right where the hamstring meets the butt. I have a teacher that calls it the thut or the fast. Go ahead, lower down, switch. It's a place in yoga where we get injured a lot because it's too weak, the muscle attachment, so tone it up. And then go ahead, lower that down. And make your way up to kneeling. I'm gonna slide a blanket under my knees. All right, so a little bit Simon Says. So, I'm gonna do gate pose. Left leg out to the left, balancing on the right knee. And then I'm gonna take my right arm out to the right and then slide it under my left armpit. Right ear comes down to the yoga mat. It might feel nice to extend the left arm straight. Or you can bend the left elbow anywhere that you feel stableness and working at the same time. And some of you might even be able to take the right hand and wrap it around either the right shin or right hand to left shin, or right hand peace fingers around the left toe if you want to add an extra layer. And then go ahead, lift yourself back up. Ooh, other side. Right leg out to the right, press your right foot firmly down into the yoga mat. Left arm out to the left. Find some length here through the spine. And then left arm under the right armpit, right arm forward. Press down into the right foot to find some lift in the left hip. Smush the left shoulder down. If you want to take your two left peace fingers around the right big toe or reach for your right ankle, you can do that. Lengthen the spine. Little pretzel-y. And walk yourself back in. All right, perfect. We have time for camel pose. So, staying on your knees, I like to cushion here so you can roll your yoga mat up a little if you like. Let's do this camel the first time around with our hands in our jean pockets. None of us are wearing jeans to do yoga, but if you were wearing jeans, so they're sliding down to the tops of your glutes. And this is another place where right from the get-go, lengthen the low back, collarbones broad. And a couple of times with your own breath, you're just gonna lean back a couple of inches and lift back to neutral. So we're not going for the full pose yet. Curl the upper spine that we worked with early in class back and then lift it up. You're not sticking any landing. Right when it starts to get a little too hard, you lift yourself back up. Okay, come back to neutral. This time we're going to do hands on our belly. So you are arching back, but keep the tone in the belly. So elbows squeeze back, hands on the abdomen, keep pressing the legs down, stretch the belly back, and you can waver up and down as much as you like. laying back a little too much, or you can counter that by feeling those abdominals work. All right, come back to center. All right, now this one probably won't feel so bad. If you like either of those options, you can stay there. Also, simply arms up. If you're looking for something that's less back bendy, more neutral, this is still a fair amount of work. My toes are tucked under. I start with my hands on my belly, elbows back, chest proud, start to lean, and then I'm going to reach one hand for one heel, one hand for the other. And now this might seem kind of spacious because you have the assistance of your hands. Pretend like your breastbone is on a string, it's lifting up towards the sky. You can let your chin come in towards your neck and then stretch back. You're breathing. And then one hand to the hip, other hand to the hip. Lift yourself back up and go ahead, sit down on your knees. Pause. Feel yourself without any motion, any effort. Notice breathing in. Notice breathing out. Notice breathing in. Notice breathing out. All right. Go ahead and take yourself off of whatever prop you're on and roll over onto your back. You can do knees bent. If you feel pretty good, you can extend the left leg straight on the ground, hug the right knee into the chest wherever you are. And then extend the right leg up towards the sky, flex through the right foot. I'm going to bring my hands behind the right thigh closer to the groin than the knee and press that right foot up onto the ceiling. Notice how square your hips are or are not. Maybe the right foot starts to move back, but keep pressing the right thigh forward away from you. And lower the right side down. Left knee into the chest. Left leg extends, hold behind the left thigh. Maybe even straighten the left elbows because or straighten both elbows because you're pressing the left thigh so far away from you. Try to get both hips on the yoga mat and then start to stretch left heel back, left butt forward. You're breathing. And then slowly let left leg come down to meet the right. Position yourself for rest. So that means bringing the collarbones again here too to a nice open, even curve. And if you're uncomfortable laying flat on your back, absolutely roll over onto one side. Let go of any effort. Let your body rest. Feel your body at rest. head starts to wander, bring it back to your body at rest. Feeling your body in space. Notice where your body is holding tension. Start to bend the knees. Roll over onto one side. And press yourself up to seated. Feel how you're holding your body seated. Let one hand come somewhere on your body. And thank yourself for trying things on a little bit differently tonight, putting in all the effort it takes not to be distracted in your own home. Thank your body. Thank your brain. And I thank you.